So welcome to the 40K per month roadmap. Now, just before I dive into this entire flow here and the specifics of that roadmap, I want to just pre-frame this video by saying I see a lot of people out there nowadays have a bunch of different ways of sign your first few clients by doing this or that, or go from 0 to 10K a month by doing this, right? And there's so many different avenues that people advertise. I feel like it doesn't help many people because they see all of these different routes that they can take, and then what happens is they start to analyze which route they should take rather than just taking a route and just going down it, right? And so they kind of have that like paralysis by analysis thing happen, and then it's like they don't end up taking any action, and obviously because they don't take action, they don't get any results. So I want to put this out there and just show you everything that everybody else advertises is basically either a subsection of this or it's a variant of this process right here. And I know that because this is literally how I've built everything that I've built. And this has also been mirrored and based off of some of the most successful businesses out there. That's it. So you're not gonna get a much more effective roadmap than this, right? And so what I want you to do is I want you to really go through this video, watch it multiple times, and really understand the process and understand the reasons that we're doing these things in order. Because the other thing that I want to say before we jump in, I promise you I will get into it. The other thing I want to say is the number one reason businesses fail is because they solve the variables that are evident in a business, they solve them in the wrong order. And so what I mean by that is, as you can see at the top here, we start here, right? We start here and we move our way down depending on the answers to certain questions. No, we'll go down this path. Yes, we'll go down this path, right? But what most people do when they're starting is they won't start here, right? What they'll do is they'll start like down here, right? Where we start talking about like automations and systemizing stuff and whatnot, right? And we'll get onto this. But what they'll do is they'll start here. And so they've basically failed before they've even got started, right? In the first week of them starting, they've already failed because they're at the wrong stage. They're solving the right variables in the wrong order. And it's also one of the biggest reasons why small businesses who go out and get funding and go out and get investors for their product to take their product to market and all that other shit, right? The number one reason they fail is because they also solve the variables in the wrong order. And so naturally, this process right here, and by the way, the time that you come and look at it, it may have been expanded even more, but this is the fundamental process, as I say, of going from 0 to 40K a month. And we naturally, right, solve the variables in a business, and I'll get onto those specifics here in a minute. We solve them in the right order if you just follow this, right, step by step. That's why this video is called the step-by-step roadmap, right? Because if you follow it step by step and just do the things in the right order, you're solving the variables in a business in the right order, and you're taking the quickest route to 40K a month, which is the goal of this roadmap. So let me not bore you anymore. Let's just dive straight into it, okay? So let's start at the top. We've got this question here. Proof of concept beyond reasonable doubt. Do you have that yet or not? Meaning, whatever problem that you're solving, for whoever it is, right, whatever your niche is, are you able to solve that problem beyond reasonable doubt? And naturally, by saying beyond reasonable doubt, that means, do you have evidence to back up your claim? Meaning, again, case studies, results, right? Cold, hard proof. Do you have that yet or not? Yes, perfect. You can move on, right? Go down here. No, and this is where we're gonna start. Well, you need to come down to this route here, okay? So if you are at 0 right now, well, I hate to break it to you, but you don't have a proof of concept beyond reasonable doubt. That's completely fine. Again, you just can't go down this route first, but most people will. Most people will start going all the way down here and start doing outbound prospecting. Start sending emails, start like putting content out. It's like, you don't even have a proof of concept yet, right? So again, that's why most people fail, but let's take the correct route. If you've not got a proof of concept, no, perfect. So what you need to do is you, first of all, need to identify a specific type of person, okay? And you need to understand what their most painful problem is, right? And here we're talking about their threat level 1 issues. What's the thing that is either just, if it's in their personal life, what's the thing that's hurting the rest of their life because of this one thing that's happening in their personal life, right? If it's in work, if it's in their relationship, if it's in their health, right? For example, if somebody's extremely overweight, then most of the other activities in their life are probably going to be harmed because of that one thing. And so that's a threat level 1 issue. That's the threat level 1 issue. And that's also the source of all of their other issues, most likely. And they're the types of problems that you want to focus on solving, because they're the types of problems that people are most willing to pay you for to solve. If you go to this same person and you solve a different problem that's not as important to them, they're going to be like, yeah, it's not going to give them a reason to buy right now, today, right? And also give you top dollar to solve that problem, because it's just not that valuable to them. Right? The solution to that problem just isn't that valuable to them. So they're probably just going to put it to the back of their mind, like, yeah, I'll get to it. Like, yeah, I'll look into this next week, or just, yeah, let me think about it. Right? But then, into the same person, if you solve a threat level 1 issue, they're like, oh my God, yes, I need this now. Yeah, I'll pay you whatever you want. Right? I need this problem solved. They're the types of problems you want to solve. Okay. So identify a certain type of person and understand what their most painful problem is. Okay. Next, you want to list all the ways in which you can solve that problem, okay? Just all of the ways, right? Even if some of them don't make too much sense to actually do, like, and actually execute for the client, just list it all down. Get it all down on a piece of paper, and then identify the highest percent solution and deliverable, okay? So identify the most, here, as I say here, the most effective and the most efficient deliverable that solves this problem. You want to make sure that you're hitting both effectiveness and also efficiency, right? Effectiveness meaning, like, there's no point having a super duper efficient deliverable for a client when it doesn't even provide a solution to their problem, right? It doesn't actually solve their problem, but it's okay because it's super efficient, right? It doesn't matter at that point. It needs to be effective. But then on the flip side, if you've got a really effective solution that solves your niche's problem, but it also takes you 12 months of full-time work to actually solve it, it's not that efficient. And so you're not going to be able to scale that high. At that point, it depends on what the problem is that you're solving. You could then charge extremely high ticket, and that's kind of a conversation for another day. But again, really what that comes down to, and again, this is what I was saying to you before, this process covers everything that you will ever need, right? So this is all you need to focus on, right? And so, as I say, if you have a solution that solves a problem, and that problem is like seriously that person, that niche's threat level 1 issue, their most painful problem, and even if it takes you 12 months to deliver it, right? It's not the most efficient, but you could charge extremely high ticket if it's something that is genuinely really painful, and that type of person has the means, has the capital to invest, to actually pay you. That still could be a pretty good solution, right? So you can see how this sort of stuff already tied together, right? But ideally, you want to find the most effective and the most efficient deliverable to solve the problem, right? Whatever the threat level 1 issue is that you've identified, okay? We're a few days in, right? Because I've tacked on a couple date ranges here. Now, I do want to say, don't worry too much about these date ranges, right? It's just to let you know, right? It's just to give you an idea. It doesn't need to specifically be 3 days. And it's like at the end of the 3 days, if you've not found a person, you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do? It's not that important, but it's just to give you a bit of an idea, okay? So we're maybe a week in at this point, max, right? And you've found a person, right? You've understood what their most painful problem is, and you've created a solution that ideally fixes that problem. I do want to say, on the solution side of things, sometimes you don't know what the highest percent solution and deliverable is, right? And so what you can do in that case is, first of all, just find the top, 1 to 3 solutions, and then from there move forward, and I'll show you where we'll come back and we'll identify the true highest from data, okay? So understand these, okay? And then what you want to do is you want to tack on a beta price to your offer, okay? A beta price to your offer. So not something that you would charge, if you were like, I think I could sell this at $5,000, that's cool. Tack on $1,000 price tag initially, right? And then what you want to do is you want to sign 1 to 3 beta clients, because the true key here is that with these initial clients, right? With your first 1 to 3 clients, you do not want to value the money that you could make from them, because that's not what's important at the moment. That's going to come in the back end. Don't worry. We're going to make some serious cash with this offer. But initially, with your first 1 to 3 clients, don't worry about charging the absolute max that you can. It's not going to matter, right? What you want to do is you want to charge a beta price just to get the clients on board, because what we're really trying to do, what we're really trying to get out of these first 1 to 3 clients is this next section here. And so what that is we want to find the mechanism that, and so what we want to do here is we want to find the mechanism to deliver the desired transformation. This kind of ties in with this point here, right? And so as I said before, if you have like 1 to 3 solutions, I don't really know what the highest or most effective effective, or I don't really know what the most effective and efficient solution is out of these. Well, what you want to do, you want to sign your first 1 to 3 clients, right? Beta clients on the beta price. And then you want to identify truly and solidify the most effective and efficient solution. So one of the clients you'll do one solution, the other client you'll do the other, and the other client you'll do the other. If you have multiple that you don't really know what's the most effective. And then from there, you'll be able to see in, again, cold hard evidence, right? You'll have cold hard evidence on the solution that is the most effective and the most efficient, because you'll be delivering it to the client. For example, if you run an agency and you're like, I don't really know if Google ads or Facebook ads is the most effective and efficient, right? Both of them are pretty efficient, I would say. So you're not gonna have that much range in the efficiency of each deliverable, but you will have a pretty big range in the effectiveness of each deliverable, so, right? So maybe like, I don't really know if TikTok, Google, or Facebook ads is best. Well, have your TikTok, Google, and Facebook ads as your offer, sign your 1 to 3 clients, and then when you bring those clients on, one client do Google, the other Facebook, the other TikTok, and then you'll be able to see black and white, cold hard, you have cold hard evidence on what is the most efficient deliverable, okay? From here, were you successful, right? Did you deliver the desired transformation? And the desired transformation is the solution to their problem. So if they can't scale their business right now and they're stuck at 50K a month, but they want to hit 100K a month, well, at this point here, did they, were they successful? Did they get to 100K a month, right? Did you deliver that desired transformation? If it's like a weight, right? You're helping your clients with losing weight. Did they get to their desired weight, right? Whatever it may be. Okay. For example, if you help people hire, right? Maybe you have a recruiting agency, and you help your clients find, train, and ramp team members, key players in their business. Well, did you find, did you train effectively, and did you ramp efficiently a key player for their business? And also, I would tack on to that example, is that person now killing it in your client's business? Because at the end of the day, they don't really want a new team member, they want a result in their business. And probably the best way to get that result in their business is by virtue of hiring a team member, right? And so were they successful? No. Well, you need to come back and you need to re-optimize, you need to refine your mechanism, okay? And this process can take 1 week to 5 months, right? It can take quite a while to really dial in this mechanism. For example, if you have an info product or a coaching program, like for example, us at Scale Clients IO, like for us to create a program, it takes us easily half a year, right? 5 to 6 months easily it takes us to build it. Okay, but that is our mechanism. That is how we get our customers and our clients the results that they get, because our mechanism is so dialed in. But it took me 5 to 6 months to actually build that mechanism, right? So, it's not always just going to be tomorrow you'll have the best mechanism on earth. It's a process that you need to go through, and you need to routinely refine and optimize around to ensure that your clients are hitting their desired transformation consistently, right? Super, super important. But if you've got to this point, you've got a mechanism, you found a mechanism, and your client was successful, well now, your beta clients were successful, right? These 1 to 3 beta clients that we signed down here, you've delivered the mechanism, they've achieved the desired result, right? Perfect. Now we can come back and we can go forward, we can move forward, right? We're successful? Yeah, we were. Perfect. Now we can restructure pricing based on results, because remember, up until this point, all of your clients have come on a beta price offer, right? And again, the only reason we chucked on a beta price is simply because we wanted to get clients on. We didn't want clients to not come on board with us just because we were charging too much. And at the end of the day, we didn't have any evidence to back up our claims. So you can't expect to get paid full price for your offer if you've got no evidence, if you've got no proof that what you're saying actually works, okay? So that's why we do a beta price, okay? And then, as I say, what we can now do is we can restructure our pricing based on the results that our beta clients got, because you always want to make sure that your pricing is based on results and it's not just a number pulled out of thin air. It's like, why are you charging 10K for your program? Right? It's like, well, we're charging 10K for our program because here's the probability of the outcomes that our clients get. So you're pretty much guaranteed to be profitable. And also, if you can choke on a guarantee to your pricing, to your offer, it's pretty much game over, right? So restructure pricing based on results. Now what we can do is we can come back to the top and we can ask ourselves this question again, right? Proof of concept beyond reasonable doubt. Do you have a proof of concept that your offer works beyond reasonable doubt? Meaning, do you have evidence to back up your claims? Guess what? Yeah, we do, right? Because you shouldn't be back at this point if you didn't answer yes to this question of, was your client successful? Meaning, did they achieve their desired transformation? If they did, then you've moved forward. Now you've come back to the top here. And now you have that proof to show them that, yes, we actually do deliver this desired transformation. If you didn't, right? If you don't have that mechanism yet, well, you're still re-optimizing, you're still reworking this mechanism to make sure that you've got it, right? So it's impossible to fail with this process. This is what I was saying to you before, okay? So back to the top, as I say, proof of concept beyond reasonable doubt. Do you have it? Yes, you do. Cool. Now we can move forward. Now we can move on, right? So what we want to do now is we want to look at this section here, which is to complete the niche research and copywriting doc, right? This should take 3 to 5 days. It's a pretty in-depth process, okay? Because we're diving deep, right, into our research, right? This is 3 to 5 days of full-time work. Might even be longer, right? Might even be a few weeks. Now, the research, the niche research and copywriting doc, I'm not going to give in this video. That's for our scale customers. But what you just need to know really here is that now we're going to go deeper, right? We're going to go deeper into this type of person, the type of person that you've chose, and what their painful problems are, right? We're going to really dive deep in understanding what makes our ideal client tick, right? What, hits a nerve, right? We're gonna go very, very deep at this point, because now when we move forward at this point, we're now kind of looking to ramp our client acquisition efforts. And the best way to do that is to truly understand what our ideal customers and clients want, right? And understand, as I say, what makes them tick. Super important, okay? So now that that's completed, we now look at these 3 overarching main ideas to client acquisition. And that's building an audience, nurturing an audience, and filling your calendar. Now, obviously, each one of these kind of breaks down into a deeper subsections and whatnot. But as the overarching kind of pillars to client acquisition, building audience, nurturing your audience, and filling your calendar is kind of like the 3 big ideas, okay? So building your audience kind of breaks down into Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, if your ideal customer is there or your ideal client is there. Things like your pixel data as well, right? Any way that you can build an audience, because once you can build an audience, you can then nurture that audience, right? That's the idea behind it. And so obviously this again further breaks down into like top of funnel content, which is things like group posting, YouTube videos, okay? Remember, this is solely tailored around building the audience. So how can we generate more eyes to us, right? We've also got things like outbound connections. So connecting on LinkedIn, sending friend requests on Facebook. This kind of ties into outbound prospecting as well, right? You're making a connection to a prospect if you're sending them an email, right? And it's outbound, you're reaching out to them, right? And obviously with email, that can kind of further tie into building your audience on like a pixel data, even Facebook, Instagram, etc. And then obviously you've got a Facebook group as well. So this is just another way to build an audience. It's kind of hard to do to build your Facebook group through top of funnel stuff if you're not running ads, right? So most of the time your Facebook group is going to grow by virtue of nurturing your audience already, your existing audience that again you've built by virtue of like group posting, YouTube videos. I would even add in ads here, but again, this roadmap is tailored around going from 0 to 40k a month, and really you don't need ads to go from 0 to 40k a month, right? But once we've built the audience, then we want to look at nurturing the audience, right? By virtue of useful content, personal content, action posts, right? Retargeting ads. So you're constantly touching that audience and you're building your, basically, you're building authority inside of that audience. And you're essentially, the biggest idea here is that we're making our audience see us as the best option to solve whatever the specific problem is that they are currently facing. It's like, I'm really, really struggling with this problem. And I think that this person, or I know that this person is the best person to go to get this problem solved. The way that you get that level of certainty in your audience is by nurturing them, right? By virtue, again, of useful content, personal content, action posts, retargeting ads, etc., right? And so what this then does is it sets us up, right? Because what most people do is they try to jump straight to this section here, which is filling the calendar. But if you take somebody through this approach here, so you get them into your audience, you then nurture them, and then you try and get them to book in a call, you're gonna have a much higher conversion rate, right? As I say, this is literally the number one way right now that we're consistently hitting 150k a month plus each month. It's just through this process, building an audience, nurturing an audience, and filling the calendar, right? And so once you've got an audience that you've nurtured over a period of time, you can then do these actions and you're going to get a filled calendar. So for example, DMs, right? Outreach to your audience, right? Do outbound messages, right? Outbound prospecting even, okay? CTA posts, right? And then obviously you've got like inbound leads as well. If you use these things on an audience that you've nurtured, you're gonna have a filled calendar. It's gonna happen. Right? It's people always talk about like struggling to get calls booked and whatnot, and then I look at their like approach, I look at their system that they're currently using, whatever it may be, and they've literally sent one email to some random person And then they're like, oh, nobody's booking on a call. And so, I need to change my first line, but like, I don't know what to change the first line to. I'm like, dude, your first line isn't the issue, right? That approach used to work like a couple of years ago. It just doesn't work anymore. It's as simple as that. It just doesn't work anymore, right? And then also even worse than that, in that initial email or in that initial message that they've made one time and they're expecting to book a call, they have no proof to back up their claims, right? That they're not proving that point beyond reasonable doubt, yet they still think that they could book in a call with somebody, right? It's just like, ask yourself, if somebody reached out to you, right? For example, if you never knew who I was and you're a part of the ScaleClients.io community and you never knew who I was, and I reached out to you saying, hey, we help these people do this, do that, right? Do you want to jump on a call with me? And I had no proof to back up my claims. What are you going to do? You're not going to jump on a call. It's just not going to happen, right? And so actually on that, right, it's just not going to happen. Yet we have so many clients and customers in our programs. Why is that? Because they came through this approach. I built an audience, I nurtured the audience, then I asked, right? Then I filled the calendar, right? So that's like, as I say, the overarching approach to your client acquisition efforts. And then from there, what you want to do is you want to ask yourself, do you have 2 to 5 full paying clients, right? And this is going to be after like a week to 3 months, right? More so on the 3 month section, depending on how hard you're pushing the above here, right? You could, technically you could do this in a week. We sign probably around 8 to 10 clients a week. So you can more than get 2 to 5 clients in 1 week, but it's probably going to be nearer to the 3 month section, right? And so if it's been 3 months and you've been working hard on this and you've still not got 2 to 5 full paying clients, well, what you need to do is you need to come back up and you need to re-look at your niche research and copywriting doc, because your messaging is probably going to be off, right? So you're not really hitting on those nerves in your ideal customer, probably because you don't know what it is that they actually want. So you need to come back and you need to research, okay, what is it truly that our clients want? And the key phrase in that sentence there was, what is it that they want, right? Not what is it that they need, what is it that they want? Because most of the time, the two are different. Your ideal customer might want this one thing, but really what it is that they need is this other thing. But if you advertise what they need, they're not gonna resonate with it. They're not gonna bite your hand off at it, right? Because they think, oh, I don't need that. I need this. And they don't need that. They just want that, right? That's what they think that they need, right? And so you need to advertise, you need to speak to, you need to enter the conversation at what it is that they want. And then once you've got them, you can then slowly transition them over to what it is that they actually need, okay? So you need to understand, you need to do your research in regards to what is it that my audience wants. Give them what they want and then deliver what they need, right? So 2 to 5 full paying clients, no, go back to the top, rework this, right? Okay, and then come back through, okay? So now, 2 to 5 full paying clients, yes, we've got it, perfect. What you now need to ask yourself is, do your clients receive eye-watering results, right? Do they receive that desired transformation as close to 100% of the time as possible? Yes, perfect, move on. No, well again, we need to come back to our mechanism, right? You need to refine your mechanism again. You need to re-optimize your mechanism, okay? If it's yes, then you need to now look at how efficient are your deliverables, right? Scalable, because now by this point, you're probably at ranges, but you're probably going to be anywhere from like 10, 20, 30K a month, okay? And so now what we need to start bringing into the conversation is scale, right? Because up until this point, we've really just been focusing on building that proof of concept and getting our first few full paying clients. We've not really spoke about scale as of yet, okay? And so as I say, by this point, you're at 10, 20, 30K a month. So now we need to start really bringing into the equation scalability. And you need to ask yourself, are our deliverables right now scalable? Okay, and if they're not, then we now need to look at doing these two things here: productizing your deliverable and hiring where it hurts. These are the two best ways that you're going to make your business and your deliverables as automated as humanly possible. Okay, hire where it hurts is going to be more so tailored to service-based businesses, okay? So if you have a service-based business, then you're going to obviously want to make sure that you're hiring somebody to come in and actually deliver the service. If you're the founder, you're the owner, you don't want to be delivering the service, right? And then productizing your deliverable is trying to make it as close to a product as physically possible, where you can just ship it out, right? Ship it out, and you've not got to worry about actually delivering it, right? You've not got to manually deliver the service. You can just send the product out. right? That's what it means when you say productize your deliverable, right? So for example, if you've gotten these 2 to 4 paying clients and you're getting amazing client results, but you're doing that by virtue of some sort of one-to-one program, right? So where you're speaking one-to-one with your clients, you're doing you're delivering the offer yourself. So it's like a done with you, it's like one-on-one, you're jumping on calls every single week and whatnot, and you're getting eye-watering client results. That's awesome. But now you need to look at how can we make this more efficient? Well, we can productize it by actually doing like building a product, right? Such as an info product, right? So pre-recorded videos, etc. You want to productize that deliverable. So then even if you sign 10 clients the next week, you're sending one piece of content out, you're sending one program out, you're sending one product out, and you've not really got to, there's not any more input really needed from your end, right? Productize the deliverable and hire where it hurts, okay? And then once your deliverable is efficient, you can now start to ramp up your volume, which is this section here, right? So you can start to ramp up this section here by virtue of the 2 main hires being appointment setters and sales reps. These 2 hires, honestly, were probably the biggest difference, I would say, that I made in order to go from, I would say like 50, 60, 70 a month to like 150 plus a month. Literally, just appointment setters and sales reps. That's it. Right? So super, super key hires. But again, there's no point bringing on an appointment setter. There's no point bringing on a sales rep if number one, you're getting no calls, right? You've got no audience, right? You've got no audience for your appointment setter to tap into to set appointments. And there's no point bringing on a sales rep if you've got no calls coming through, okay? And also there's no point bringing on those 2 hires if you've not got a product or an offer that anybody wants, okay? So again, that's why it's so important to follow this process in the order, in the structure that it is in, right? So hire appointment setters and sales reps and ramp up your volume, right? Because you can now, because your offer, your deliverable is efficient, right? So again, importance of order. And then from there, what you can start to look at is to automate your biz 100%, right? 100% automate your business and just essentially focus on removing yourself from operations as much as you can. So things like customer and client fulfillment, okay? Onboarding, right? Client and customer acquisition, right? Which is primarily going to be solved by virtue of appointment setters and sales reps, right? But onboarding, so this is like back-end fulfillment, even delivering the service itself. Again, just remove yourself as much as possible. And at this point, your time should be spent on creating content and assets. So coming back to the top here, your time should be spent in these 3 main areas. Not so much this area, because that's going to be handled by an appointment setter, but more so in these areas right here, right? Nurturing the audience, because the nurture has to come from you. The content has to come from you as the founder. And so at this point, that's where really 100% of your time should be spent, right? That's where 100% of my time spent right now. For example, this video, right? So guys, that is the process for going from 0 to 40K a month. Like that is it. And as I say, naturally, by following this flow in the order that it's in, you're naturally solving the variables in a business in the correct order, right? Finding a niche, right? Understanding what the transformation, understanding what the desired outcome for that niche is, right? Proving that transformation is something that you can actually deliver, right? These are the orders that you want to, these are the variables that you want to be solving in that order. Niche, the transformation, the pricing tacked onto it, right? Which again, we solved here. Beta pricing, and then based on the results, you can then restructure your pricing, as I say, based on the results, right? The mechanism, right? Again, so ensuring that we can actually deliver this transformation and that we can actually deliver, right, the results first of all, but then also that we can actually deliver them in an efficient manner, right? So that we then have a scalable offer, a scalable business, right? All of these things need to be solved in a specific order. There's no point making your deliverable as efficient as it possibly can be if you're not getting eye-watering client results. There's just no point, right? There's no point trying to charge full price before you can prove your point beyond reasonable doubt. There's just no point, because you're not going to sign clients, or at least at the rate that you'd probably want to. So as always, guys, deeply hope that this was a useful walkthrough. And at the end of the day, as I say, if you just focus on this, I promise you, you'll be able to go from 0 to 40K a month in the quickest time frame possible. If you're interested in understanding and figuring out how we can apply this directly to your business, whether you're currently at 0 per month, you're currently at 10,000 per month, 50,000 per month, even 100,000 per month. If you're interested in how we can apply this directly to your business, then please go ahead, right below this video, book in a call with my team, and we'll see kind of how we can, as I say, most effectively apply this to your business, and how we can ramp that time frame from 0 to 40K a month, 40K a month to 100K a month, etc. How we can basically compact that time frame as much as we physically can, okay? So that you can achieve your goals in the quickest time frame possible. So as I say, go ahead, book in a call below, and we'll apply this to your business as much as we can. And apart from that, as always, deeply hope that you found value in this video. And with that being said, I will see you in the next one.